possibly have well, I won't say a valid reason, but obviously, they had a reason for doing what they were doing. So worst case scenario in that kind of case, I think you could go with a guilty by reason of insanity if you were kind of going for that angle. And that would probably still justify some time. I just don't know how much. I mean, they've already been in there 35 years.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, right?
Yeah. So
long.
It's kind of like, do you go ahead and, let them out? I mean, obviously, if they did what they did because of why they said they did it, I don't really think they would be a danger to anybody.
Oh, yeah. I definitely don't think they're a danger to anyone else.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, if anybody wants to chime in and give us your thoughts on the Menendez brothers, feel free.
Yeah, it's just kind of funky because, it's not self-defense, obviously.
Right.
But the way they reacted and what they did, I mean, you can't be judge and jury.
Well, the thing that gets me and the thing that's still questionable to me is if they unalive the father for the reasons they gave, right? That's kind of understandable, right? But then why the mother?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I've seen from, watching that Netflix thing, like the mother knew it was going on, she just didn't do anything,
But did she really know? I mean,
they make us think she knew.
Yeah, but I mean, she's not here to tell her side of the story.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, did she really know what was going on, or, was the wool pulled over her eyes? Maybe she didn't know. So that would be my thing is, like I said, if they did this because of the reasons that they've said, why both the mother and the father? Why not just the father? Because I would think that if those reasons were actually the case, I would think the mother would have came to their defense in trial. No?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of one of those things that it's the only people in that house were them and the mom and the dad, and the mom and dad are gone. So like it's really kind of their word.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, and I do know there was some new evidence that one of the brothers wrote a letter to a cousin.
Right.
And that was the only type of evidence, physical, something from back then. And it was just, this letter was just sitting in the closet till the guy passed away, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, she found that letter, and that did say, hey, my dad's back at it again. I mean, it did show proof, like, this kid, at the time he was saying this is happening again,
Yeah, and I saw that too. And that's why I'm saying I have no doubt that stuff was going on, because there's been a lot of people that have come forward and talked about that, right? Even family members that said that, when the father was back there with the boys, nobody was allowed in the back of the house or whatever, right? So I have no doubt that was going on, but at the same time, like I said, if anything, if that was their reasoning and they were able to prove that was their reasoning, then maybe, a guilty by reason of insanity, I think, could have been a plea they took instead of what they got, right?
I think you're going to be traumatized. Something like that happens, you're going to be traumatized.
Oh, yeah.
You're around that person.
Especially if it went on for years, like they're saying, like, yeah, I totally get it. And that's why I said, I don't think if they got out, they would be a danger to anybody.
Yeah. So the question is, okay, do they deserve, I mean, they did something wrong, but have they done enough time for what they did?
Well, Yeah.
Is there leeway? Do they get any leeway, like, since what happened to them? You know?
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying too, like 35 years is a long time. I mean, I would have no issue if I'd have no issue with it if they got out. Especially with all the new evidence that's come out and what they went through. So I mean, I get it. But I think this whole thing with Gavin Newsom not wanting to make a clemency decision, I think really has to do with, okay, the outgoing DA said what he thinks, but now there's going to be a new DA taking over. So, let's let him look at the case and, see what he thinks. So I understand that decision. It's not to say that I know you had read a report that Gavin Newsom was washing his hands of the thing or whatever, but this article doesn't say that. It just says that he's holding off on making a decision until the new DA can look at it and, give his recommendation. So, there's a possibility that it'll still go back to Newsom for clemency. And at that point he would have to make a decision on it. But yeah, outside of that, there's, it says right here that Gascon, who's the outgoing DA, sent letters to Newsom noting the brothers' credible allegations of abuse from their father. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know their father was a wealthy music industry executive.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I know he was supposed to obviously real wealthy, but I couldn't remember. Yeah, actually, I do remember now that you said that.
And it also says that Gascon's letter also cited years of dedication to rehabilitation. So apparently they've been like model prisoners for 35 years, And the outgoing DA has met with family members who have been pleading for the brothers' release and previously told reporters he believes the brothers have paid their debt to society. And and that's what I'm saying. So like with all the new evidence, I mean, you've got the outgoing DA who's saying that these guys were model prisoners for 35 years. There's new evidence of abuse. So yeah, I mean, do you let them out? Do you give them a new trial? Do you know what I'm saying? Like which way do you go with this? I mean, after 35 years, I mean, it's set up here. I mean, these guys are, they're now 56 and 53 years old.
Yeah, they've been in there for quite a long time.
Well, yeah, one was 21 and one was 18 when this happened. So
and that's another thing. They were also younger when they made that decision.
Right. And again, they made the decision based on, apparently from this new evidence, the things that they had been suffering at the hands of their father.
But you do have to also look at it as, it was premeditated as well.
Right.
They thought it out, how they were going to do it.
I guess my biggest issue with the whole thing, is the mother. Right? Like, I could understand if they were going through this stuff with the father. I could understand them snapping and doing this. That I can get. The one that I'm having an issue with is the mother. Like,
well, I don't know if you remember that documentary. Hopefully a lot of it was true, right? But it showed the mom was aware, because that time when they heard the one boy was sleeping around with a girl, so then the mom was all worried, thinking the kid was going to have herpes or something and pass it on to her husband. So she made him undress in front of them, look at his private parts all over. So,
okay, yeah. See, I didn't remember that. So essentially, they're saying the mother was fully aware of what was happening to her kids at the hands of the father.
Didn't question. I think actually she, watching the documentary, it's like you don't know how much is actually true, but there was a time where she wanted the husband to even talk about it, because she was mentioning she kind of knew, but he never had that conversation with her really. but she wasn't going to stop him or say what he was doing was wrong. You know, she just wanted him to be open about it, basically.
Okay. Well, I mean, if she was fully aware and didn't try to stop what was happening, then I guess I could understand the outcome. But yeah,
It
so
kind
I
of shows
mean,
both of these parents that are supposed to be who's supposed to be looking after them.
well, yeah, they're
You can't
supposed to be
trust them.
protecting them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess yeah, I could understand that, and I mean, with all the new evidence that's come out and everything, and after 35 years, yeah, I mean, let them out. You know what I mean?
That's how I would feel. I would look at it and go, look, they've done plenty of time. What they did was wrong, but they have done a lot of time already.
Well, and I mean, like I said, let them out, and if they offend after you let them out, then guess what? Let them spend the rest of their life in prison at that point.
Yeah,
But
obviously give them the short leash beyond,
yeah,
probation, whatever.
I mean, but by the sounds of it, I mean, it sounds like they went through hell, and they made a decision to handle it themselves. So I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen any comments, so we'll. I don't know. I was looking through here. Let's see if there's any items in here that we want to discuss. Oh, look at that. The lawyer who defended Jeffrey Dahmer died at 88 years old.
Just natural causes, obviously. Then
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what it says. Cause of death hasn't been revealed. But yeah, he was the one that defended Jeffrey Dahmer. So he's gone. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Here's an interesting one. And this one kind of pisses me off, right? So you got this lady, Susan Smith. Do you remember her?
not off the top of my head. No.
All right. So she unalived her kids, right? By, I believe she's the one that they were both toddlers at the time. And she drove her car or put her car into a lake or something, right?
Okay, I think I remember a little bit of this.
So both the kids died, okay? And she claimed that she was carjacked, okay? And that the suspect had taken off in the car with her two toddlers in the car, right? And what's even worse, sorry. What's even worse is not only did she say she was carjacked, she made it a racial thing, right? Because she claimed a black man carjacked her. Well, back then, this is 30 years ago in 94, right? So back then, I guess in certain places you'd say something like that and you would just get believed. Well, come to find out, this crazy ass lady put her car into the lake. Yeah. Put her car into the lake with her two toddlers inside the car. And both the toddlers basically drowned, I guess. Okay. Now she's been in prison 30 years, right? So she's been in prison 30 years and she's now trying to get out of prison.
No. See, someone like that, they need to be behind bars forever.
Well, here's what's messed up. So she was sentenced she was sentenced, but then she became eligible for parole on November 4th of this year.
That's ridiculous.
Now, she was denied on November 4th. Okay.
But even to have an option for parole is ridiculous.
But here's the thing. She hasn't even been a model prisoner, bro. Like, she was charged with engaging in acts with prison guards right? With 2 prison guards. She's been in trouble for drug use and self-mutilation while in prison.
That is wild. But on the other hand, you got 2 brothers that were young, that, you know, in the last thing we were talking about.
Right. And
So clearly stuff happened.
so you got this lady who unalives her 2 kids willingly, blames it on a carjacking, right? I mean, totally tells a false story, then finally comes clean about it. She gets convicted. Then while she's in prison, she's getting in trouble for drugs and you know, having relations with 2 guards and doing all this in a model prisoner. And she's fighting because she thinks she deserves to get out after 30 years. This lady should rot in prison.
Yeah. I mean, a waste of tax dollars, but I feel like going out the other way is too easy. She should suffer.
Yeah, get this. So apparently she's had a long distance boyfriend while she's been in prison, right? And she wrote in her parole paperwork or whatever that she wrote about wanting to get a fresh start with her boyfriend. You don't deserve a fresh start, lady. Like you killed your 2 children. This lady, she needs to rot. Unbelievable. Anyway, it looks like she got denied for parole. So, but I think I read somewhere that after they denied her for parole, she's trying to fight for a new trial or something. I don't know. This lady, she's out of her mind, dude. That just showed up, and I just had to talk about that one because that's ridiculous. Let's see if we got anything else in here worth talking about. Oh wow, that's interesting. Loving Boston woman who cooked dinner for her dogs every night had one of her dogs maul her to death.
That's pretty wild.
That's crazy. Here's another story that sickens me. The Lake and Riley story from Georgia. You know, they just convicted him, right? He just had his trial. He was convicted and he was given 2 consecutive life sentences as well as some other years. So he'll never see the light of day. But I mean, unbelievable what's been happening. I mean, I'm not going to get political on this channel, but this girl should have never been killed. You know, like I said, I don't want to get political, but that should.
I don't know if are we able to say that?
What?
What you just said? What happened to her? Do we have to say that in a different way, or is that word?
Say what?
The killed.
No, I think that's okay. I mean, we're just talking about news.
She never knew all these weird calls.
Yeah, I know all the damn rules and stuff, but I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. But I mean, all we're doing is covering news stories. So, yeah, that one is sickening. The Lake and Riley story, unbelievable.
Most of the people, they deserve to be in there.
Okay, now here's another one. This is another one that really bothers me. So you got this kid here, right? He was on American Idol at some point. He was DUI and caused an accident, which killed the other driver, right? He was initially sentenced to 25 years, but then it was reduced to 8 years. Why is that reduced? You know, I'm sorry. If you drink and get behind the wheel of a car, you've made a decision. So then whatever happens because of that decision, you're responsible for. You know, so I am absolutely in disagreement with these people that get busted for DUI and get let off lightly. You know, you've got people, and I'm not talking about this kid individually, but you've got people that they get arrested for DUI and it's like their fifth DUI. Like, why are they still driving? I mean, it's only a matter of time, right? I don't get it. So now they're going to reduce, this kid's sentence has been reduced to 8 years. But yet a family is missing a father and a son and a husband or whatever because of this kid and the decisions this kid made. That initial 25-year sentence should have stuck. It shouldn't have been reduced. That's absolutely ridiculous. Let's see what else we got in here. See, now I'm seeing stories that just piss me off because I have strong feelings about some of this stuff. Let's see. Oh, here's interesting. I don't know if I can say this, but anyway, Florida man's arrested for plotting to do something to the New York Stock Exchange. I'll bring it up so you can read it. There it is.
Oh,
right?
Sentence for him yet?
No, he's just been arrested. So.
And that's just for plotting, right? Like,
right. Well, that means, yeah, that he was plotting it and somehow he was caught in the midst of the planning process. You know, but then that brings into question, what's this guy all about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are his leanings? Like, what is he, you know what I mean? Has he been radicalized by some group or whatever? I mean, it's just, wow. Oh, here's one for you. This happened in California. A man cleared by lie detector in 1979 is now identified as the suspected killer of a 17-year-old California girl.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
So, you know, and you know what happened. So, you know, back then, 1979, you know, they leaned heavily on lie detectors, right? I mean, DNA didn't exist back then. So he was cleared because he passed the lie detector test. Well, come to find out, now that DNA is something they can use, they probably did DNA and found out, oh, he actually did do it.
Well, yeah, there was some wild story. I can't remember the whole story, but just, was it today or yesterday? I noticed someone did one of those DNA ancestry things or whatever.
Yeah.
Something happened and popped up, and the cops showed up to their house and because they noticed the DNA matched old crime, and then they ended up going back, and it was like the lady's great grandma or something that must have done something to some woman or child or something back years ago.
Here's one about Diddy. Of course, you know he's in the news all over the place.
Anyone wants to chime in about these crimes, just pop up in the comments.
Yeah.
And also on Saturdays we do a crime game where we unsolve crimes.
Murder mysteries. Very first time, guys. We're gonna open up one of these and go about an hour on the live, and we're gonna go through this with everybody, and we're gonna try to solve these crimes. This should be a very fun, interactive game with everybody. Definitely.
Right here, guys. Saturday, 4 p.m. Pacific time.
7 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, here's a story about Diddy. Doesn't surprise me. He's all over the news. I don't even want to get into this one because, I mean, hey, guilty or innocent until proven guilty, right? But with all the evidence that they've leaked so far, I mean, come on, guys, let's be real. This guy just like the typical elite celebrities out there. He thinks he's above everybody and thinks that that he's got all the money in the world and can do whatever the hell he wants. You know, I don't.
Was there something that he might get out on bail?
They're trying. Yeah, he's trying to get bail again. I mean, he's been denied bail several times already. But yeah, they're supposedly trying again for another bail hearing or something. But
I heard there was some type of proof to show that he was trying to pay someone off.
Well, there was something the other day. I read a report that they're already saying that he's been witness tampering from inside jail.
That's crazy.
So I mean, again, it's that attitude that, you know, he's bigger than everything, right? So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into the Diddy thing. That's a rabbit hole that we could be on for hours. But anybody that has,
he should have gone down just for what happened to Tupac.
Yeah,
way before.
Hey, that might still come. That might still come, because don't forget.
When we flat out heard the dude say he was paid off, and it was
right. Well, and that dude is still sitting in jail here in Vegas right now.
And what was he in there for? Because he had immunity for most of.
No, he didn't have immunity, bro. He had a proffer agreement, which meant that whatever he said in that meeting at that time,
What was his name? Keefy D or
Keefy D. The proffer agreement means that whatever he said in that interview at that time couldn't be held against him, right? So by him saying that in that meeting, they couldn't charge him. All right. But then his dumbass, and yeah, I'm going to call him a dumbass, he starts going on all these vlogs and stuff and telling the same information that he told the police in this interview. Well, him saying that stuff in public is not covered by the proffer agreement. So
yeah, and he's spoke to a lot of different.
Yeah, so that's what caught him up, right? So then his house got raided, and he's been in jail ever since. Now, he's already stated publicly that Diddy offered them money to do this hit, right? So again, you just said that, you know, that Diddy should go down for Tupac or whatever. I firmly believe that that's going to get tied into this case, right? Now, and the reason why is you got this dude sitting in jail here in Vegas, right? Who has said that Diddy offered them money to take out Tupac. Okay. They're keeping him in jail. Keefy D's sitting in jail. His trial, I don't know when his trial is, but he's been sitting in jail for a couple months now.
Hey, in a way, it could be to protect him also.
It could be what?
It could be to protect him. So Diddy,
partly, but I can guarantee you that the feds have already been there to talk to him.
Oh yeah.
That I guarantee you that. So again, the stuff that Diddy's being charged with, right? All this other trafficking and all that, that's serious crimes. And it carries a lot of prison time, right? But I guarantee you that the Tupac incident is going to get brought into that case, and Keefy D is probably going to get brought in to testify in that case. Yeah. I'd almost put money on it. Now, everybody, you know, there's questions out there whether Keefy D is, you know, telling the truth or if he was just giving a story to, you know, make everything sound, you know, famous or whatever, but I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that Diddy offered them money. You know? I mean, they were...
I believe it.
Yeah,
I mean, well... Why else would the guy say that? I mean, why else would he say it?
Right. you know, and yeah. So I mean, I have no doubt. Anybody that's watching, if you got any comments on your thoughts about the Diddy thing with involving Tupac and Keefe D, or just the Diddy case with the trafficking and stuff, go ahead and comment below. But I'll guarantee you, I mean, Keefe D's still sitting in jail here in Vegas. I haven't even heard what he's been charged with. I just know that it's in connection to the Tupac murder, right? But he hasn't gone to trial yet. And it's kind of odd that he got arrested, and then within a couple months, Diddy gets arrested.
Yeah,
right?
It's wild, right? That is kind of crazy.
I mean, so I don't know.
Maybe it was from what he said. Finally, the cops decided to go to Diddy's house, right? And then
yeah, I mean, that's very possible, and that's why I'm saying I have no doubt. Being that Keefe D's trial hasn't come up yet, and being that, you know, Diddy's trial, I think they said his trial's not supposed to start till like May. Is that what I heard? Like March or May?
That's wild, though.
And so that tells me that they're taking their time and putting this case together. And I'll guarantee you that this case isn't just going to involve the stuff that we know of right now. It's I think the Tupac stuff with Keefe D is going to get brought into this case as well. And if so, maybe we'll finally get some closure to this whole thing. Like, here's what happened. This, you know, numbnuts paid or offered money to these guys to take him out. Because one thing I always found funny was, for years they talked about, you know, it stemmed from the fight after the Tyson fight in the MGM, right? I think it's kind of odd that Orlando Anderson just happened to be there.
Yeah.
Like,
That's kind of odd.
You know what I mean? Like, he just happened to be there, and he just happened to be in a place where Tupac and his entourage were going to walk by. Like, I don't know, man. I haven't bought the story from the beginning because nothing sounded right. Nothing added up.
Yeah,
And
the whole story's just funky, right?
yeah, I mean, and then, you know, you had, you know, the people that said, oh, Suge was involved, right? Here's my thing. If Suge was involved, why would he have it done while he's in the car with Tupac?
Exactly, and that's what I was just thinking. He would have not put himself in that situation like that. He could have done something so differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I don't buy into the you know, Suge Knight thing, him being involved in it at all. I really can buy the Keefe D story though. That because, you know, that rival, East West Coast rival thing was at a peak, right? And I really think Diddy was scared of those guys, dude. I think he was scared of Suge. I think he was scared of, you know, that whole crew.
Well, but then also, you know, when you got that money, you think you're untouchable, right?
Right.
You think you got guys that will just do whatever for you at
Well,
the drop of the dime.
but and it's already come out that Diddy had hired Crips from LA to do their protection when they came out to California. Right? Well, who was Keefe D a part of? Okay. So we already know you hired them to do your security when you came to California. And now we've got one of them saying that in a conversation, you were talking about how you wanted these guys gone, and you'd pay $1 million for Tupac and Suge to be gone. What? I mean, seems awfully odd for somebody just to make that up, right? And then you got to remember, why would he make up that story when they never got paid?
Exactly, and he even talked about. I remember, I think PPD didn't he mention like, hey, they had the drop on where he was at.
Yeah.
He double checked, like, you want us to do this?
Yep.
It was like, I mean, dude.
And that's my thing is they didn't even get paid the money.
Or I thought, didn't the money may have went in someone else's hands and he didn't actually get it, I think.
Well, the people that were supposed to get the money didn't get the money.
Yeah.
Right? The check was given to somebody that was supposed to give it to Keefe D, but that dude took the money and opened a nightclub.
Yeah. And he was like, what are you going to do?
Right.
Take me to court?
So that's my thing. Like, why would you even make up that story? Because, I mean, you didn't even get the money.
Well, that story doesn't do anything but make Keefe D look bad.
Right.
Why are you going to incriminate yourself if you don't have to? He was doing it because he thought he was safe from talking about it.
Well,
but
he was safe in that meeting because he had a proffer agreement. Keefe D got himself caught up because if he would have gave that information in that meeting under that proffer agreement, he could have never been charged with anything related to the Tupac thing. Okay. But once he went outside and started going public and writing books and going on podcasts and telling the same story, he was incriminating himself publicly, which was not protected by the proffer agreement. So he got himself caught up because.
But do we know that's the main reason he's in there right now, though? I mean,
yes, he's in there related to the killing of Tupac Shakur.
I wish you could pull up. Are you able to pull up anything about his recent charges?
I can tell you. Hold on. I
wonder in the future if are you able to always block or show a blank screen while you're searching?
Probably not.
I mean, I was just curious.
I don't know. Maybe.
So something doesn't pop up by accident. You know?
Ain't nothing gonna pop up by accident. I don't do anything on this computer. I mean, let me see if there's anything recent. Yeah, dude. So he was arrested in like September of last year, bro.
So it's been that long he was arrested.
Yes.
We don't know. There's no final thing on his.
Okay. So what I'm understanding from what I just read is so Orlando Anderson, who is a Crips member, was suspected but denied being involved and was never charged. He ended up being killed in an unrelated gang shootout in 98, right? So then...
Actually, everyone involved is not here.
So Keefe D's charges, his charge is the first-degree murder of Tupac Shakur. That's his charge. That's what he's in jail for.
Now, do you think there's a loophole or something where if he gets charged with that, there's no way to go after Diddy?
No. Here's what'll happen. So he's being charged with first-degree murder. If he turns state's evidence on Diddy and ends up being a witness in that trial, he'll still serve time, but he'll probably get a break, right? Like maybe they'll lower the charge from first degree to something else with less time. But yeah, it says right here, dude, 27 years after Shakur's murder, Keefe D. Davis, which is Orlando Anderson's uncle, was arrested after being indicted by a grand jury for the first-degree murder of Tupac Shakur. So that's what he's in jail for. He's in jail for the murder of Tupac.
And that's because how he spoke up and talked
yes.
when he wasn't covered, right?
Yes.
So then why?
Because
what he spoke about couldn't affect Diddy then? Why
no, it will. It will. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why I'm saying The stuff that Diddy's facing right now, believe me, it carries enough time that he'll never see the light of day.
I mean,
Right.
obviously that's the case with KPD. Obviously, that's what unfolded the whole Diddy thing now, right?
That's what I'm
Most
thinking.
likely.
But then
wanna
again,
look for evidence.
but then again, I don't know, because you got to remember, Cassie came out about the stuff that she went through with Diddy. So I think the stuff that Diddy's facing right now was because of Cassie coming out and then all these other people coming out, right? So I don't think the Tupac thing played into to Diddy being arrested. But I think since then, they're looking at it because of Keefe D. Okay. And again, is it going to make a difference in how much time Diddy gets? Probably not, because the stuff that he's facing already is he'll probably spend, if he's convicted, he'll probably spend the rest of his life in prison. Right. So the Tupac thing would just be another charge on top of that. And it would really just to be a way of putting the whole Tupac thing to rest. Okay. But the hell was that?
It sounded like something fell or something. Huh?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't have any haunted dolls here with me, but yeah, so Keefe D was indicted for the first-degree murder of Tupac, and that's why he's in jail. So I'm going to tell you, to be completely honest, and I know, the code of the street, and he's from the street and all that, but I mean, he's already been publicly saying,
Diddy or Keefe?
no, Keefe D. But here's the thing, he's already publicly been talking about Diddy. So because of that, do you really think that he wouldn't go in and testify against Diddy?
Oh yeah, if he's talked about on top of that.
I will guarantee you, dude, that he will testify against Diddy. Especially,
it's gonna somewhat help his case. It'll not shave some time off.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The feds could come in and be like, look, we know what you've said. We know there's evidence of this. So if you testify, we're going to knock this first-degree murder down to second-degree murder, right? Which now means that instead of life, you might get 15 years.
And what's Diddy's main charge thing? Is it trafficking? I mean, is it?
It's trafficking. It is.
Charges, right?
Yeah, there's some stuff I don't think I can say on here. Some of it involves underage. Some of it is trafficking. It's all kinds of stuff.
Drugs, right?
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, there's already enough there to carry a big sentence. But if they wrap this,
so most likely we will see this case drag on.
Yes.
And maybe once they start to pursue something and he gets charged for that, then all of a sudden we'll see this Tupac stuff pop up.
Probably. I mean, because you got to remember, we haven't even seen, there's supposedly a list of names that's going to be coming out of big time celebrities that were involved with all this, right? And if you notice, none of Diddy's friends have come forward in his defense. Everybody's staying quiet, bro. And it's because they're all scared. They're all worried that they're going to be on this list, man. And I'm going to tell you now,
if you're there and you're aware of it, I mean,
you need to go down too. Yeah. You need to go down too, plain and simple. I'm not going to talk about names that I've heard, but some of these names are names of people that people have been watching for years and think they're the greatest person on earth.
Yeah. I mean, in that industry, there's so much wild stuff.
Dude, the entertainment industry is so full of scum, bro. Literal scum. And
just imagine how some of these people get these acting jobs. I mean, it's because some shady stuff, probably.
Bro, there's been reports from people for years about what happens in Hollywood and things. I mean, look at that guy Weinstein, right? That was a big time.
Epstein?
No, not Epstein. Weinstein.
Oh, which one's?
He was like a big time movie producer, dude, that got sentenced to prison for, abuse charges. And it was because these people would come in to audition for a role or whatever, and he was making them do things to get the role.
Yeah, which you hear a lot.
And here's the thing. Some of these people that are yet to be named in the Diddy case, right, had known ties to Weinstein, had known ties to Epstein, and now have ties to Diddy, right? These people are dirtbags, bro.
Yeah, we need to see. Everyone wants to see justice. I want to see all these people go down for what they've done.
Yeah,
It's
like,
just
dude,
ridiculous.
look,
Just because you got money does not make you better than
Exactly.
anybody else.
and that's the whole thing, bro. They think that because they have this money, that they're in a class above everybody else, right? So then everybody else is just dirt to them, right? And you can do what you want. Like, I mean, some of these charges are sickening, bro. Some of the things that I've read about that they're doing to children. I mean, and it's all because
that, and then even the power they feel like they have over just
anybody.
yeah, exactly.
But it's even worse when it involves children.
Oh, it's disgusting.
And that's why I
the
said, like,
lowest of the low.
that's why I said, like, when some of these names come out, I think people are going to be shocked, bro. But you know what? Some of these names that are going to come out are names that I've privately been talking about with people for years that were dirty, bro. And
It's gonna shock the world.
Yeah.
Hopefully it really happens. I hope it unfolds.
Well, look, it's like Cat Williams said, dude. He said that this was the year that everything was going to come out. And all you got to do, because I'm not going to name any names on here, right? Because we don't need anybody trying to come at us. But all you got to do is go back and look at stuff that Cat Williams has been saying for the last year and the names that he's been dropping. And those names are people that are involved in this. I mean, plain and simple. So take of that what you will, but he's named some pretty big people and people that a lot of people would look at and go, there's no way, right? But those same people had ties to Weinstein, Epstein, and Diddy. That's not a coincidence.
Yeah, and it's just crazy because to the world, all these actors, people don't think of anything like.
Well,
They're innocent,
everybody.
right? Oh.
Everybody looks at these fucking, oh, I should have bleeped that out, but everybody I don't think they're going to clown us over one word, but everybody looks
As
at
long
these.
as it's not too aggressive and not towards someone. I think.
Everybody looks at these famous people, right? Like they're God's gift to whatever, man. And you know what? When it all comes down to it, they're people just like anybody else, right? They just have a different kind of job, bro. And
Yeah, they're not special.
and because of that pedestal that we as fans put these people on, that's what gives them all, that makes them think they have all this power. Okay? They're no better than anybody else. All right? And most of them, and it's going to come out in this trial, I think, people are going to realize that they're actually scumbags. Literally scumbags.
And that's why I want to see it happen so bad. All these people that, were successful. I mean, their life is set for them. They probably have money set for their family for many years, I want those people to lose it all if they've done wrong.
I mean, if they look, I don't wish bad on anybody, but if these people were involved in the things that is being said, right? Involving children, involving trafficking and all this stuff, right? Taking advantage of people like that, then yeah, they need to be crushed. Their entire world needs to be crushed. Okay. And they all need to go to prison. They all need to be in prison for that. I mean, it's one thing to, you know, associate with somebody and maybe you don't know what's going on, right?
Yeah, and I'm sure, and that's what
Because
sucks for a lot of these
they
people.
did say that, you know, there was the daytime party that, and then once the nighttime party hit, a lot of people left, right?
I mean, and you got to think, even though and these parties are probably cracking and it seems freaky, but like a lot of these people probably didn't know because there's probably a lot behind closed doors, or you know, those.
Well, that's
they
the
probably
thing
got
is,
extra buildings in the back. I mean, those places are huge.
well, that's the thing. They're saying that the ultra freaky stuff didn't happen until the nighttime party, right? So there was always a party and then like an after party, and the after party is where all the stuff took place.
And even so, I guarantee it was very limited on who still knew.
Right. And the thing is I'll guarantee you, like the names that Cat Williams has dropped and the names that other people have dropped about being aware and being involved. I mean, I have no doubt, because these are the same people for years that I've been saying something's not right. Like, you're not gonna, there's no way you can tell me that it's coincidence that you were friends with Weinstein, right? Who was found guilty and convicted of this stuff. You were also friends with Epstein, right? Who was arrested and unfortunately was unalived. I'm not going to say that he unalived himself because I don't believe that. But you were friends
with,
wanted
a list to come out, right?
Yeah. You were friends with him, right? And then you were friends with Diddy. Now, all three of those people have the same thing in common. They're all involved in this shady stuff. But you didn't know? All three of them, and you didn't know? Get out of here, man.
And you got to think all the stuff that happened, even if they weren't minors, they were drugging people.
Yeah.
These people were incoherent, not knowing what's going on, and filming them to hang it over their head.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you bring them in a room and because you want to sign them and have a contract and be like, this is what we're going to pay you. If you don't sign it, we're going to show this.
Yep.
I mean, that person has no choice. No
choice
unless they want to let the world know what happened to them, and then all of a sudden people look like, whoa, bro, that happened to you? Whoa.
I really think, and we've gone way off topic, but I really think that...
Well, it is a crime channel.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying that's why I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole, because we could be on it for forever. But I really think that when this trial comes about, I think there's going to be a lot of eyes opened. And I think there's going to be a lot of high profile celebrities involved.
I want to put it out there again.
Yeah.
You guys, this Saturday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, we're doing our game for the first time to get all the followers and everyone to interact. We're going to try to unsolve crimes, guys. We're going to do it every Saturday. So follow if you're interested in that. It should be really fun. The Crime Task Force is the main channel that it's going to be on. We're both going to be on there and unfold it as we go. We're going to try to solve it all together. It should be totally awesome.
Live murder mystery game, guys. Something that I haven't really seen being done on here. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, these murder mysteries that we have supposedly take multiple hours to solve. And so we'll be working on it an hour at a time each Saturday. And then those videos will be posted. So if you missed a week, you can go back, catch up to where we're at before the next live. Every Saturday, 4 p.m. East or 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing this live murder mystery game. And, it's going to be a lot. Hold on. I just got my,
you can mute it if you want.
There we go.
But yeah, you're going to want your notepads, pens. It's going to be like the real deal. We're going to have to try to solve this case together.
Yeah.
And look at all the evidence from police reports to pictures.
And that's the thing, is it's going to be a lot more fun if we have you guys interacting and helping us solve the crime than us just sitting here playing it. You know, if you're into murder mysteries and you're into like, you know, games like Clue and whodunit kind of games, you're going to really enjoy this. And it's something that, you know, everybody can interact with. Like he was saying, have a notepad, make sure we're jotting down information as we go through the case. And then once we solve this case, then we've got another one to move on to. And this is going to be an ongoing thing. So if this is something that you enjoy doing, you're going to want to be with us every Saturday from 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be going for about an hour. Give or take a few minutes based on where we're at in the case. You know, we'll make sure that we get to a stopping point in the case where it makes sense to stop. But
roughly an hour shorter or later, right?
Yeah, it could be a few minutes shorter, a few minutes longer. It just depends on where, you know, how the case is looking and where we're at. But
I'm pretty excited about it. I think it should be really fun.
Dude, I think it's going to be a blast. As long as we get people in there that want to interact, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, and this stuff kind of looks like the real deal. I mean, you got these reports, you got pictures, you got to just, you know,
and we haven't even opened these packets, right? We're waiting to do this live. So we know there's an evidence file in there that contains, like Chris was saying, pictures and police reports and documents, right? And clues and things like that. So we know that stuff is in there, but we haven't taken a look at it. So we're going to be going through it fresh with you guys. And I think it's going to be a blast. So I hope people join us and, you know, we get people that want to play the game and interact.
Yeah, remember guys, Saturday, 4 p.m. If you're interested, give us a follow, hit notifications so it reminds you. But besides that, we're going to have other crime videos. You know, just the channel's just about crime and stuff.
I mean, even stuff like we just did, you know, going live and discussing, you know, things that we come across crime related. We'll be doing stuff like that. I mean, it's
current or stuff from the past.
Yeah, you know? I mean, we may go back and cover some of the old serial killer stuff. We'll see.
And comment about things that we want to discuss.
Yeah, exactly. If you know about a case you want us to look at and discuss, throw it in the comments, and we'll take a look at it and, you know, possibly discuss it, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm really hoping we get people turning out for the murder mystery game on Saturday. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I will probably, what's today, Thursday?
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow I'll do some kind of short and throw it up in the morning. There, that's you.
You got the little puzzle thing. You got that?
Yeah, I had it a couple minutes ago.
That's weird that you got one before me when I went live first.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll throw up a short or something talking about it, and hopefully people that aren't popping into the lives, they'll be able to see it and know that we're going to be doing it on Saturday. And then maybe that'll drive some people over. I'll put one and I'll post it to both channels. I'll post it to the Crime Task Force and the Paranormal Task Force. I'll put that together tomorrow. And, you know, outside of that, guys, like I said, I didn't want to go down the Diddy rabbit hole, but we did for a little while. And I don't feel like even going further into it, but
go on forever, right?
Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah. I mean, that whole thing can drag. We can be on here for hours. But I think we'll go ahead and end this one. We're a little over an hour now.
Well, since we were talking about Diddy, I just want to say R.I.P. to Tupac.
Definitely.
Give him a shout out.
I mean, next to No Vaseline, I think Hit 'Em Up was probably one of the best diss tracks ever made.
Yeah. Awesome diss track. So
yeah.
We know what we think about Diddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Please give us a follow. we're looking for people to get interactive. We're trying to build up this channel. It's a new channel. So we're going to keep doing our thing and hopefully see us just keep going up.
Definitely. All right, guys. So we will see you guys in the next one.